All right, I guess we'll get started then. Welcome everybody to our third Living Without Limits panel, sponsored by the New Ulm Human Rights Commission. We are the oldest human rights commission in the state. Not everybody knows that. Pretty exciting. And the goal of the Human Rights Commission is to ensure equal participation in our community. That's the underlying principle behind everything that we do. All of our activities, and this is considered one of our educational opportunities. And it's been so nice. Like I mentioned, this is our third panel. We've had 2 other panels, and we have learned so much. We've taken copious notes. We've shared it with Park and Rec. We've shared it with the city. And we learned so much from people that are living with these experiences. And so I so appreciate, I know we all appreciate from the Human Rights Commission, your participation today. So thank you so much for coming. We have a really wide variety of panelists today to tell us all aspects of different experiences. And I love that about this panel opportunity has really gotten us to be able to bring in some diverse voices, and I think that's been really meaningful, so I appreciate that. I'm going to start on this end. Oh, no, Colton said he would like to be introduced first. So Colton, do you want to say your name first into that microphone?
Hi, my name is Colton, and I like books, dinosaurs.
You like books and dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm. Likes books and dinosaurs. I like books. Dinosaurs I don't know as much about.
I'm 9.
9 years old. Cool.
What grade are you going into?
4th grade.
4th grade.
What school do you go to?
St.
Anthony's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Colton is joined by his mom, Becky, and his dad, Dale. If you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick.
Yep. Hi, I'm Becky Bailey. This is my husband, Dale. We've been married almost 20 years, and then Colton is our youngest of 4 kids. Our oldest will be a senior, and then we have a sophomore and I'm going into 7th grade, and Colton going into 4th grade. So I work in town here at the clinic, and and I actually I was born and raised here in New Ulm also.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, Dale Bailey, married to Becky. Before I forget, fun fact, we actually met on the 4th of July hayride. So if you ever get a chance to go on a hayride, don't turn it down, all right?
Never know.
I work for AMPI in town. I grew up in western Wisconsin. I've been in New Ulm for about 25 years. So people are just starting to warm up to me, so that's pretty exciting.
It's hard to be an Auslander.
It's the Auslander. We're the parents to Colton, and life is good.
Thank you. All right, Vicki, introduce yourself. I think
Colton
everybody
is done.
knows you, but
Anything else you want to add? Not now. Okay. I'm Vicki Pizer. I've lived in New Ulm almost 60 years, but I understand not quite long enough. I have a 43-year-old son who we adopted from Colombia and who arrived with significant disabilities. And he has been very well treated by this community, and he is quite a joy.
thank you.
I'm Carrie Borgert, and I am the coordinator for Adaptive Recreational Services, or ARS, and I can attest Josh is a wonderful person. ARS was founded in 1982 by a group of concerned citizens that realized the people that were once living in institutions are now having the choice to live in their community as they chose. And so Park and Rec and people realized that we need adaptable recreation, things that can work for everyone. So that is how ARS came about. I've been the coordinator for ARS for 10 years, and I meet great people, and I get very emotional. I love my job so much. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for bringing your perspective today, Carrie.
She's so good at it. We love her. I'm Claire Giesecke. I'm the parent and guardian of Cody Giesecke, who's 29. We live out by Klossner on the farm. Been in New Ulm forever. And I think that's it. Works at Enterprise. He loves his job. He loves his community. He's very, very fortunate.
And what does he do at Enterprise? What is he?
What do you do? I think you mostly supervise, but
You're the supervisor. I love it.
they have lots of little opportunities, the nuts and bolts, the paint can or the tops, and the community sense.
Pins, all kinds of things.
The community sense, all their little projects, and that's what they do. And you do a good job. You work hard.
Thank you for that. Okay. So So first question, and we'll start here with the Baileys. How does having a developmental or cognitive delay diagnosis affect the person, their family, their friends, and what changes have resulted from a diagnosis with respect to your physical environment, mobility, family dynamics, etc.? Starting off with a tough question, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think we got introduced to it right off the bat when Colton was born. He was born early at 32 weeks, and we were in the NICU down in Rochester, and we found out after he was a week old that he had Down syndrome because they did some genetic testing right when he was born. So that was all a surprise. But like right away within a diagnosis that, having that diagnosis just put into play like a whole map for the medical team down there. They're like, okay, now we check his heart, we check his kidneys. It just kind of gave him a map, and then everything kind of fell into place. Their social workers set us up with, when we left their early intervention, the 0 to 3 Riverbend team here, and they started meeting us at our house like after we got home. And then just early intervention to like the public school to now going to the Catholic school, working with the public school. It's all just kind of played out from there, and it's just a completely different path than we had taken with our other kids, but learning all these resources has been wonderful.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Do you have anything to add?
She's got it. No.
All right. How about you, Vicki?
Ours was a very unusual, well, today it would be an unusual situation, I hope. We adopted Joshua from Bogota, and the messages we got from the orphanage he was at was that he was speaking and feeding himself and saying mama and all these wonderful developmental marks. And when he got here, we realized that he couldn't sit up by himself and he couldn't push the food back into his mouth. And he was 11 months old, I think. And but still, we thought love would cure all. And in fact, Mayo sort of told us it would. But later, we got this diagnosis that from a group in the cities that he would never speak, he would never understand language, he would never be toilet trained. And thankfully, people locally and very kind professionals here proved them wrong.
Thank you. Carrie, maybe I know you're not a caregiver, but
Yeah,
you do a lot
so-
of caregiving.
Just with ARS, I'm always, I guess I'm always worst case scenario. I'm always trying to suss out the danger and just make sure that everyone feels comfortable. Like, is the building accessible? Is the venue accessible? What's the noise level like? What's the lighting like? Where are the restrooms? Are there escapes? Where's the location? Are we close to a busy road? What does parking look like? Who else is going to be there? Are they going to be compassionate and kind? So those are all of the things I think that parents are hypervigilant, and so I just want to also be hypervigilant to make sure that everyone feels safe and heard and seen, and they want to come to ARS.
Thank you. Claire?
Well, it's a very rare chromosome disorder that he has, so nobody could give us any answers, and we finally found a doctor that looked at him and knew right away what it was, the Angelman syndrome. Very discouraging. They give you the worst case scenario. He's not going to walk, talk, or do any of that. And again, we proved him wrong. He's doing very well. And yeah, it was very discouraging, very upsetting, and we worried about his future, his acceptance. But yeah, the community has been great. School was great. His job. One of his issues is swallowing. His nerves are very spastic, and his swallowing doesn't go down like ours does. It goes all over. So that's why I'm giving him Skittles, because it keeps him from getting anxious and gaggy. So that's what the Skittles. It's better than medication.
Yeah, who doesn't love Skittles? I love Skittles. Thank you for sharing that. This next question will start with Vicki, and then we'll just kind of rotate through. So what aspects of life are better with Josh's diagnoses, and what hasn't changed compared to someone without his conditions?
Well,
You have other children, I know, so.
yes, I guess that would be a positive, that his sisters learned a lot from living with him and taking care of him. And, you know, he's had a positive impact on others. So that would be, I guess, the upside. And of course, that he's done much better than we ever expected. Awesome.
Carrie, what do you?
Yeah, so I think one thing that's important is knowledge is power. These parents have all become experts, and that's something I strive to do, is just become an expert. I don't necessarily know Cody's diagnosis or Josh's diagnosis, but I learn, like, how do I adapt these things? In order to be an advocate or an ally, I need to know what I'm talking about. So I have a lot of smart people. Janelle's sitting here. A lot of smart people that tell me things. So knowledge is power. And also, I mean, something that doesn't change is Cody is loved. He is part of a family. He's an uncle. He has hopes and dreams. And he has good days and bad days. But he is a person just like the rest of us sitting here. And that is just so important. That didn't change. He was born the way he was supposed to be. And we love him. Right? Yeah.
Thank you. Claire?
Yeah, like she said, knowledge is power. It was so scary when he was born, and how is he going to be accepted at school? So someone suggested go to the school and explain to the kids what he has. So every year from preschool to 6th grade, either myself or my other son, Colin, went and we talked to the kids. We told them a story about Cody, what he has and what he can and can't do, and the kids loved it. And you give those kids that knowledge, and they took care of him for his whole school year. They always looked out for him. He would get off the school bus in the mornings, and he'd go to each group, and he'd say hi to everybody, and they'd say hi back to him. His classmates were just amazing. So knowledge is power.
Yeah, so it sounds like the need for connection doesn't change no matter who you are, yeah? Okay, to the Baileys. You got, I think Dale's been
Yeah, no,
nominated.
I was, I guess, kind of building on that a little bit. Around March 21st every year, we celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. And the correlation there is Trisomy 21, March 21st. And we're actually able to find some classroom kits that we can bring into the school and stuff. And we do bring in cookies, and Colton gets to walk around, hand out cookies. It's kind of his day. We wear crazy socks, right?
Uh-huh.
Are they really, do you mismatch your socks?
Well, yeah.
And it's a point of pride for him to go in and talk to his classmates. And you know, we're fortunate to have a school that's so welcoming, and you know, they're fortunate to have him there too, kind of teaching them some things. So
Yes, and some of his teachers are in the audience, so.
They are.
it's nice-
They are. I
Nice
noticed
to
that.
see you here.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all of that. Okay, we'll start with Carrie, and this is really the question built for her, I guess, in some ways. What recreational, leisure, hobbies, interests do the people you work with and care for have? Are they affected? You mentioned already doing some, I mean, adaptive is in the title of your organization, but maybe you can tell me a little bit more about the ways you're making those activities adaptive.
Yeah, so I really think, honestly, anything could be adaptable. It's just how much money is Joey going to give me kind of a thing, you know? So I know there are limits, but pretty much anything anyone wants to try, we'll really think about it. Like, how can we make this work for everybody? Boy, we love singing and dancing, and we love artwork, and we love playing bingo, and we love just being together. We're kind of safer together, which I like to get us out into the community. But that sometimes is a little scary. And my mama bear has to come out, and yeah, so we just love our friendships. We have people from all over that maybe would have never met without ARS. You know, I have people that are now from Lake Crystal and Arlington, and they wouldn't have had that opportunity to meet. And so, yeah, honestly, anything can be adaptable. You just have to think outside the box, and you need the money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you do.
Joey
Yeah.
from Park and Rec is here, which he gets from the city, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, ARS is completely funded by grants and donations, and you know, the people that I work with, like Cody, gets a paycheck, but is that a paycheck that can sustain a month's worth of leisure activity? No. And so we want him to still be able to come without that. How am I going to pay for it? So we do look to community people and organizations and the City of New Ulm Park and Rec budget for money. So, and we want to continue that. And it's been working since 1982, so I think it can still keep working. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw you guys just had an art show, right?
We are having
Having an art show. You could put a plug in for your art
Yes,
show.
July 11th. Please, please, please come and see us. We will be at Alm Sweet Alm and the Grand, noon at Alm Sweet Alm, and then you can grab some food, and then come on over to the Grand. July is Disability Pride Month, and so Disability Pride Month is just, I'm learning so many things. But yeah, we put together this art show kind of last minute, and the community has been so welcoming. So we did self-portraits, and self-portraits aren't just what you look like, right? They're like, you are who, you are so many different things than besides what you look like. So the artist that I work with monthly, Rhonda Johnson, put together a self-portrait, and they are amazing. And 21 artists have agreed to exhibit. So come and see us, July 11th, noon, at Alm Sweet Alm, and follow us to the Grand.
Thank you. Claire?
Let's see, well, like I mentioned before, his job at Enterprise, he's been there 10 years. He loves it, and he loves his coworkers and all the helpers there. He loves his ARS programs and getting involved with the community. And we're so fortunate to have these opportunities. It's a rare condition that he has, so our Facebook group, we've got a big Facebook group from all over the world, and really, really, Cody is very, very lucky here. I don't know if anybody else whose child has a full-time job and as active as he is, so we're really grateful for all of that.
All right, thank you. Bailey's?
Colton, what sports do you like?
Yeah,
Or
what do you
like to do, Colton?
So I like basketball and soccer and football.
Soccer, football?
Yeah.
Do you play baseball too?
I like baseball.
Who do you play baseball for?
For so it'll be as a Blue Jay.
Essex Blue Jays.
Sig Blue Jays,
Yes.
baseball. He sounds like a year-round athlete over there.
Yeah, and then Colton also, we just got, yeah, we've been trying to, that's been kind of our thing, is how do we transition, because he likes sports, but now, not necessarily with the general mix of kids, so that's been kind of our, what can we find that gives him that experience, yeah, to the fullest. So, we've been lucky, they've offered, differently abled gymnastics. That's been a great opportunity. The skating club has offered of adaptive skating, so that's been a good opportunity. I know that too runs on grants, so it kind of depends on when they have the funds available. So that's, and we've, tapped into, he's went through the preschool, the younger kids' swim lessons, but after that, we just needed more. So we've tapped into the private swim lessons, and that's kind of the thing that we're looking for, is kind of that gap in the sports, like just having like the older kids, that 7, 8, 9, 10, where they want to do more sports, not doing the preschool stuff anymore, but not ready to be with the real big kids. So just kind of looking for those adaptations in some of the kids' activities that are offered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and we're fortunate enough that Essex Ballpark's been a great resource for us. We actually coach Colton Slugger's team. Pretty rambunctious group of kids, and so yeah, we have a lot of fun with that. And they're super welcoming, and we're blessed with a great support structure too. There's nothing better than Colton hanging out with Grandpa in the combine or getting a chance to ride in the tractor. It just makes his day too. So
Fantastic. Thank you. Vicki?
We've been very, very lucky, and I'll plug the groups that have helped us so much. ARS gives Joshua exposure to more physical activity, especially bowling. We never would have taught him bowling. We're a very unathletic family. We're just very grateful that, that we can all bike, and he does love biking, and New Ulm's a great city to bike in. And ARS has been helping, I don't know, his groups just in ways that parents can't. And I would like to give another plug for Enterprise. Here we go. Enterprise is like a hybrid program, so they have actually recreation and work and exposure and out in the community. So we're very, very fortunate that Joshua also was included in that program.
Thank you. And then kind of on the flip side here, so I mentioned at the top of this that the goal of the Human Rights Commission is to ensure full participation in our community, regardless of race, gender, disability, etc. Does anything keep Cody and everybody else, does anything keep Cody from fully participating in our community? Be it physical, accessible? Yeah.
His bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
Because I have to take him into the women's bathroom. I'm not going into the men's. And I have to take him into the women's. So when I see a family bathroom, I just get really happy.
Yeah, more family bathrooms. I feel like they're more common now.
Yeah, they are.
And they help a lot of people. A lot of people are taking their kids,
Yeah.
and the dad's taking the daughter. Like, there's a lot of people who benefit from that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
our biggest issue.
The bathroom.
Steps and parking, that type of thing. But yeah.
So, like, more
Everything's
handicap
improved.
parking or fewer
I don't-
steps, or
we
just more
haven't-
close parking?
Yeah, parking next to a curb is too hard. And then cars park next to us and I can't get his door open. That
Okay.
type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, little snug on those parking
Yeah.
spots, aren't they? That's all good information. Things we don't always think about is having to open a door to help somebody, not a little child out, but somebody that's
Yeah.
full grown can be. You need more room for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you guys have anything?
I think I would also we also got to experience with Special Olympics this spring too, and that was a great program too. So I'd also offer that was a nice resource for us too.
I was hoping you knew about that, yes.
We
And
had
then
our-
also Miracle League in Mankato.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had our first experience with that.
Yeah.
Colton, what did you do what sport did you do this spring?
Both with relay and track. And
Track. Yep. You do the relay team?
And relay and
Long jump.
Long
Yeah.
jump and relay? Those
So
are
we
your-
got to meet some new friends through that, and we were trying to bring younger kids to it too. So that was the one thing. We brought some friends, didn't we?
Is there anything that you've seen that's been a barrier or limitation? I mean, you mentioned you've done, like, the schools are accommodating right now. Has it been uphill? It's okay to be honest. That's what we're here for.
Oh, definitely. It's every year, everything that you're advocating, make sure that your child is getting the experience they need. I mean, you're definitely talking with the teachers and working with the staff, what we can do back and forth to make it work. Yeah, because we want him to have a good experience. We want him to have similar experience that other kids had.
Right.
So, I don't know, what would you say?
Yeah, no, we have friends within the county that are, they're experiencing some issues getting into their school and facing different challenges and stuff. So we've been able to be an advocate for friends that we know that live elsewhere that are experiencing more boundaries than we are. So we're fortunate to have it. We have a ways to go, but I feel like we're in a good position compared to other communities.
How about you, Vicki? Have you seen some areas that are lacking with?
No, and we've been fortunate in that Joshua has not experienced any both barriers or cruelty or things that can happen. I think a barrier for a lot of people with disabilities is financial, and I know that Carrie hates to have to charge for things, and you hate it when someone can't come to something because they don't have enough money. And that's sort of a misconception that everybody is equal, but everyone can't make enough money working or able to work for any funds. So that can be a block. It hasn't been, fortunately for us, but I'm concerned about that for other people.
No, that's helpful. Thank you. How about you, Carrie? What have you seen since?
Yeah, so, we live in a very beautiful town, but it's old, right? And so there are some buildings that probably aren't ever going to be accessible, and that's just the way it is, because how would you make Shell's Brewery accessible? How would you do that? So we can get down into the cellar and things like that. So that is one of those places that maybe we just don't go because I want everyone to come. That's just one thing I can think of. Always just thinking about that. And not that it would ruin Shell's Brewery, but I mean, we understand there are going to be limits. So we're not naive to that. I also think that sometimes there is a lack of compassion. It might just take Cody or Josh a little bit longer, and oh my gracious, wait your turn, people. We are trying the best we can. Just give us a second, That's something that I've noticed. It's like we live in such a rushy society. Cody can tell you what he wants if you give him time. You know, just give him the time. Why is that so hard? So that is one of the things with ARS that we strive to we want everyone to just feel so included. And if that takes a little extra time, well, there's 30 of us, so you're going to wait. And that's okay. And so that's just, I think, some of the things. And I understand not everybody was as lucky as me to grow up with an uncle with disabilities. And so this has been my whole life. I just know that I watched my grandma deal with this in the I wasn't in the 1940s, but she was. I watched her, work on this. And so, yeah, living in a beautiful town like New Ulm, the infrastructure isn't always accessible. The parking isn't always accessible. The bathrooms are maybe smaller. But the things that we really can work on, everyone sitting in this room, can just be compassionate and kind and understanding and just take a minute to stop. Yeah.
Oh, beautifully said, and it costs nothing
Yeah,
from
it
Park and Rec
doesn't.
for people to have a little bit more patience and
Yeah.
compassion, right?
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Claire, do you have anything to add? I'll-
No. I do want to say that the communication boards you guys put up
Amazing.
are wonderful. I'm so excited. I do want to say that everyone needs to use them, though. The best way to learn how to use them, to feel comfortable using them, is to model. So if everybody could use them, that would be awesome. They're just excellent resource for us. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, in case you aren't aware, there's some communication boards. Are they at North Park? Or which parks are they at?
Herman, yeah.
Herman? Okay. Maybe, could you tell us just a little bit more about what they do?
Oh, this is what they look like. I'm going the home screen for Cody.
So they've
to
got
be able to
pictures,
talk.
okay.
Yeah, so talking with pictures, and he does Zoom class 3 days a week with a bunch of peers who are also using communication device. And they all use different things. They have different means of different types of language skills, but they all get to talk and learn about our last book we read was Gulliver's Travels. And we learn about different countries, and we cook, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, and the most important thing for me is to learn how to use it and model it for him so that he feels comfortable using it. And so I'm hoping the community too will use these boards and just be comfortable with them, and yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So the kids, these are awesome.
Every once in a while, I'll get a message from Cody on Facebook Messenger, a meme or something, so that's really fun.
So, everybody loves memes, right? Everybody does. Okay, what is one question, and this is one of my favorite questions on this panel, I think, is what is one question or comment about a diagnosis, delay, that you're sick of hearing?
Colton, are you always happy?
Yeah, so
You are lying to the crowd.
so happy to like a vacation.
Yeah, we love vacation.
Happy to go on vacation.
We love
yes.
vacation. Something we a huge, I guess, misnomer is a lot of folks think that kids with Down syndrome are always happy. And well, gosh, we've heard that. We heard it from a doctor once. We hear it all the time.
That's not true.
But yeah, I'll take that bet. It's not true. It's not true.
Yeah, I trust your
Yeah.
experience, having lived it. So yes, that's helpful. How about you, Vicki? Something that you were sick of hearing?
I guess the counter to that is one size does not fit all. And if someone thinks that someone has autism or whatever it is or Down syndrome, that they're all alike. And I think that is the most common one. That, and when we first got Joshua and people came up to me and would say, you got him for a reason. This is, this is meant to be, and this is, because, and I always wanted to say, I'm not Mother Teresa, and, we're doing the best we can, but, but I don't hear that so much anymore, but I am concerned that there are these stereotypes that affect policy.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I work with a really great group called the United We Stand Players, and they just did a play called Boxes. And one of the statements, one of our friends, Jenny, said she feels like she's just chucked into a box and she can't get out because everyone's the same, you're just chucked into this box. And how tired are we of hearing the words low IQ individuals? And the R word has made a comeback. And they can't, and those people, what does that mean? All of those things are so, I mean, we're all individuals, thank goodness that we're not all the same. Yeah, and I guess, you know, the diagnosis doesn't shape the individual shapes that diagnosis and does with it what they need to and want to. So those are some of the things that I struggle with is, yeah, just the, boy, the public is just, we're just saying those awful words again. That's hard.
Yes, I've noticed that too. I really hate that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was hearing a theme of expectations or stereotypes or expecting people to behave a certain way rather than individuals, the individuals they are. It's helpful. Claire?
So for Cody, yeah, expecting him to play with wooden puzzles or wooden blocks or fat crayons. We did a clinical trial and they gave him these wooden blocks and he just looked at it and took those wooden blocks and put them in that little hole where the wires are supposed to go. This is what you can do with those wooden blocks. Wooden blocks. And then she gave him a fat crayon to make a circle and he looked at her pen and he reached over and said, I'll just use this pen.
You didn't need those fat crayons.
Yeah.
He's got
you
it.
right with that fat crayon.
Yeah.
But for me, questions, I love questions. Ask me what he has. Ask me, you know, I love it. And I love to have the kids ask so they know why he's different. A lot of them ask, well, why can't he talk? And I love to explain to him, you know, it just doesn't work. But look, he's got this communication app and stuff. I love to share what he has. So I want the questions. Ask me.
Thank you. Vicki, we'll start with you. What is most misunderstood? And we kind of talked about some of this already, but what's most misunderstood about Josh's diagnoses, and what would you like people to know?
Some of the things that have already been said. Yes, he's 42 years old. He doesn't want a stuffed animal. Back to that, putting people into boxes or making assumptions about them. And it comes from relatives, it comes from strangers, but the one size does not fit all. One solution is not the same. And so we have to treat them as individuals, treat us all as individuals.
Thank you. Carrie?
So in 2016, when I was graced with this great job, I was literally hired on the front lawn of the community center. We didn't even make it into the building. Jackie Nesvold, who was the Brown County social worker on the board at that time, she's like, yeah, you're hired. And so I just really wanted to make sure that the people who came to ARS are adults, and I want to make sure that all the activities we do are adult. I mean, there's something about coloring in a coloring book that is great and cathartic, but literally we're going to sit there and do that for an hour? Come on now. So I really asked the people, like, hey, what would you like to do? What should we try? You know, and so when people bring me things, I'm just like, okay, how are we going to make that work? And just what adult things can we do? So I work with teens, 15 and older, and so bringing that teenage demographic into it, that started with me as well. That was a little something, because boy, is there some drama there. And then some of my 70-year-olds are like, what is happening? And so, but it's just great, because when you're 15, you are going to grow into adulthood with your disability. It's not going to go away. And so just keeping that all like in check and yeah, not being stuck in that box, like this, I have a disability, I'm in a box. No, you are your individual, and just celebrating that, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you. Claire?
For me, what I want the new parents that are diagnosed with Angelman syndrome to know, don't read the book, or no child ever has all those symptoms. They give you the absolute worst case scenario. And each child is so special, and they have their, beautiful aspects. They're all different. Yeah, they're all unique and very special. Bring a lot to the life.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that dog cool? I know.
He sees a dog, yeah. How about you guys? Anything to add on?
I agree. I love what they said. It exactly. They're not just. It doesn't define the person. Down syndrome isn't the person. It's a characteristic of them. Just like everyone's unique, and we have the same expectations of Colton as we do for our other kids, that he's gonna have chores, he's gonna put his stuff away. Does he always do that? No, because he's also the youngest, and he knows that, so, but we keep those expectations high like we do for our other kids, and yeah, we don't put limits on it, so you can't. As soon as you do, then they do get stuck. So hope we keep pushing.
So I'm hearing lack of chores being a consistent theme, whether you have a disability or not, and you're a parent.
Just for
what
the
I'm hearing.
youngest,
Yeah.
The youngest, it's the
For the
youngest
youngest.
child thing, yeah.
Youngest child thing. Got one of those too. Yep. That doesn't change. Same with the teenage drama. That is consistent across all capabilities.
Yep.
All right. And the last question, and this one I hope you guys put a lot of thought into, since this is really what we would like to know is, and I'll just start with Bailey's down here. If you could change any policy or community resource to make living with a developmental or cognitive delay easier, what would it be?
Man, well, Colton got a chance to do track this spring, and it was with Special Olympics, and it was a great experience. And the format of practice is 1 week we have practice at Vogel, and 1 week we have practice at the Betty Cohn Fieldhouse. And while you're there, by the way, all the MLC track athletes are there helping the kids out. And so you want to talk about inspiration, you talk about like 50 like college kids out there helping these kids do track. And it's healthy for them, it's healthy for us, it's just a great experience. So, I don't know if it would necessarily be a policy change or certainly a shift is, I would encourage, our local associations, that we have for different athletics in town here to, maybe invite some kids in to a practice or, get a chance to, just to expose, your team to kids with disabilities, because it was really powerful for us and it was really powerful for the MLC kids as well. So like I said, it's not something you can institute. It's not a policy you can enforce, but how powerful is that to have a local athletic association, invite some of these kids in and be inspired.
I love that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, inclusion, right? You don't need a
about
policy for inclusion.
Yep.
Yeah. Vicki, anything that you would share?
Yes, and I will echo that inclusion was a wonderful part of our sons growing up, inclusion by students at school. So that definitely is an asset. Of course, I'd like to see more money for ARS. And I'm not going to go into your, because Carrie is a wonderful director and manager of money, but I'd like to see them have more so that the participants would have to spend less, and also so she can increase her programming. So of course, but there's always money. There's always a request for money in whatever policy, whatever human need there is. I'd also like to see more interaction. I'd love to see like a big brother, big sister for people with disabilities, especially as they age out of family life. There's so many people with disabilities that no longer have brothers and sisters, parents alive who can improve their lives. And I would love to see other people get involved with residential group homes that don't have those people in their lives. But that's always a human need. It seems like volunteering. But I think our community does a great job, and I just would like to see more spent and more applied to people with disabilities.
Yeah, always money, but you're really touching on something that doesn't probably get enough attention is people age and their family dynamics change as everyone else in the family ages along with them. And what are we doing for people who no longer have family, or their family can no longer keep them in the home as easily because of their health? That is probably something that is hard.
And maybe churches are a way to approach this, or one way, but I am concerned about people who are sort of left alone,
Yeah.
even with great staff and
Sure, doesn't replace
great organizations.
kinship, yeah.
There is a need there.
Sure, thank you.
Well, this is huge just because I am constantly just, trying to make sure that the people that live in group homes especially are just heard. Their caregivers need to be paid better, and I don't know how they don't make enough money. They are making sure that the person is fed and bathed and has clean clothes and is getting to work on time and isn't fighting with their roommate, and just there's so many things. And I see them when they come to ARS sometimes. They are exhausted because now maybe their relief staff didn't show up, so now they're working on their 16th hour, and they have the most precious commodity. They're taking care of people, and so there needs to be a way to increase their pay. I don't know how that's going to work. We also need to make sure that, memorandums that happen to try to repeal things that have been longstanding forever don't happen. We need to be vigilant and make sure that people still get choices. They don't just get sent to the state hospitals again. I think state hospitals probably have a purpose, but boy, wouldn't you like a choice when you're gone someday, that Colton can make a choice for his life? And I want Cody to have a choice and Josh to have a choice. And, there are people in ARS that are 15 and there are people that are 87. And, so caregivers need to be paid more to get that quality people that really want to be there because they also have to pay their bills. And again, just listen to the voices of the people that know the things. Cody can tell you his story if you listen. Take time to sit in that discomfort if you're feeling uncomfortable and just learn. Just pause. Yeah.
Thank you. Claire?
Carrie said it. There's so many amazing people in this community, from his school paras to the PCAs to Carrie to all these people with huge hearts that do so much for these kids, and they get paid so little. It's so sad. But there's such wonderful people. I mean, when my parents were in the nursing home too, the work they do and what they have to do, it's, they're incredible people. That was my biggest issue. They need to get better pay. And the other thing is I'm looking at group homes for Cody, and it's so scary because if I put him in one, he's going to be down to $20 a month maybe for activities. What can he do for $20 a month? It's pretty scary.
Money. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you guys are all such strong advocates, and not everybody has a really strong advocate for their person. So you shouldn't have to work so hard to get what you need for somebody in your life like that. So really appreciate all of that. So I'll open it up. If there's any audience questions, you can just, because of the way the mics are, the TV wouldn't pick that up, so I'll just repeat the question if there's a question. If anybody has one? Nobody's that brave?
Anybody want to use a communication?
Yeah, we can demo the communication devices afterwards. Well?
I do have a question.
Oh, thanks, Kristen.
Yeah, with this communication device, how long has that been a thing that he's had it, that he's been able to utilize it? And was that a big change from before you had it, or was it a different model before it was electronic?
We tried some different paper copies. He's not real impressed with
Can
the
you
paper.
speak into the mic?
Oh,
And
yes.
I'm going to repeat the question
Yes.
first. Is the communication device, she was just asking how long he's had it. Did it exist in like an analog format before it became digital? Did you have something different that you were using?
Paper copies.
Paper
which
copies.
He didn't really care for. And pre-COVID, I finally went to a conference. We have the amazing conference Closing the Gap in Minnesota. People come from all over the world to come to it and learn about these communication apps. And I finally had the opportunity to go. And the one class I could go to was the Pro Low Quote to Go. So that's the one I did. And I had to learn it, and I had to model it and teach it to him so he could use it. And now we do our Zoom classes, which is really beneficial when he can talk with peers and have appropriate, educational opportunities and cooking and reading and
That's great.
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the question.
What has their experience been with public transportation? If they needed it, or if they are friends that needed it, or they found it to be adequate?
Thanks for the question, Carl. The question was public experiences with public transportation in, I guess, in New Ulm or maybe Brown County. Has it been available when you've needed it? Has it been adequate for the people that need it? I know sometimes we've talked in the past the hours might be a little limited, and that prevents people from participating in things that happen later at night, for example. I don't know, anything you
Yeah,
guys
so
have to
that is
add?
one of the things with ARS is, if Heartland and Herman could run longer. However, I am not a caregiver, so all of the people that come to ARS do have to come with a caregiver who generally has transportation. But what if they don't? What if 4 people at the group home don't want to come, one person does, and someone else has the car or they're going shopping? If Herman or Heartland could run longer, and I'm looking specifically at my husband because there's that money, if they could run longer, would that then help get more participation? I'm not certain. I do want to say Herman and Heartland, the drivers are amazing. They know our participants by name. They take them to work. They are phenomenal, and I can't say enough good things about them.
Yeah, that's great. So good experiences, just maybe a little bit longer hours could be helpful. Okay.
We're in the country, so.
In the country, there is no public transportation for you, then, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how far out Heartland Express goes. I think just only in town. All right, other questions? Anybody else? Well, let's give our panelists a round of applause. We thank them so much.
Colton. Give her a high five. You're amazing.
We learn so much every time, and we take that back to our community partners, so we really do appreciate it. We've got some books. The library staff put together a few books kind of on the topic, so there's some titles to look at back there, and then most importantly, there's some cupcakes back there. Ooh. So please have a snack. Thanks so much for coming.